welcome to your messages for the week. These are your messages for the week beginning Sunday, the 29th of October 2023. So last night we had the partial lunar eclipse in Taurus, which you could see here from Spain. It was ever so slight, but you could see that the full moon wasn't exactly a full moon. And we need to understand more about eclipses, right? Because I don't have anything else to say about it apart from the fact that the energies I can feel are like off the scale at the moment. We'll check out with Amy Bird. We were planning, I'll put a link in the description video in the end screen of the last video I did with her and Liz, which was about the eclipses, so that if you didn't see that, you can have a quick look at that. But we did say that we were going to do a post eclipse chat to see how the energies have affected us. So I don't know the astrology behind it all, but I feel energy, and the energy is kind of amazing at the moment. In fact, I think we're all having some kind of an upgrade, and it would be lovely to hear what kind of an upgrade you're having. And I'm a little bit excited this morning because I've just had an interesting experience on the yoga mat. Starting at the beginning of my little story. So when I was 6, I was singing in assembly, and I was told by a teacher not to sing. I was told to mime because I couldn't sing, apparently. And I'm taking responsibility for the fact that I believed her. And for 50 years, I didn't sing. And I believed that I couldn't sing. And I created an identity around not being able to sing. And it was only a few years ago that I realized, hang on a minute, I'm in the identity busting, business, and I'm, not that I call it a business, you know that, it's a service, but you know what I mean, in the limiting belief busting, so I was like, I need to bust this, this limiting belief that I can't sing. So I bought a CD called Your Naked Voice by Goodchild. And there she refers to the do, re, mi as being the sa, re, ga from the chakras. So she was connecting it to the chakras, which of course made it much easier for me to grasp, because she was talking about it from an energetic perspective. She was talking about it from a chakra perspective. It wasn't from a learning to sing perspective. So I started playing with this, and then I realized that, just making a sound out of your body is powerful, and that when you're understanding that, and you need a certain frequency to heal yourself, balance yourself, soothe yourself, whatever you want to call it, your body can instinctively create that sound. This led me to the beautiful Michele and Nestor at the Dome in Alcalali. I'll put a link in the description to their business, Harmonic Sounds, because life-changing stuff. I did a Free Your Voice course. And by the end of that, it was only a 4-day course. By the end of that course, I was singing in front of 18 people. And, well, I say singing, I was actually crying, I think, crying in front of 18 people. And I was so in love with the process of healing my voice, of freeing my voice, she calls it. I call it healing my voice. That I asked if I could do her next course, which was a voice healing course about using your voice to actually heal others, which I just did because I wanted the input, but I still passed the assessment. I don't use it to heal others, but it's all about us and healing us, right? So all these healing modalities that I've accumulated are obviously primarily to heal myself, because there is only me, right? And if you don't get that point, I'll put a link in the description video in the end screen to my latest addition to my Lessons in Awakening, number 18, There Is Only You. It's a really important point to understand that. But anyway, so I was using this voice, I do use this voice healing technique for myself. When I feel out of balance, I will just produce a sound. You go through the range, you produce a sound, you do it intuitively. And you create that sound from within you. and it's actually balancing you. And there are numerous ways that we can balance our chakras, but one of the fun ways that I often do when I'm driving alone, I wouldn't inflict this on anybody else, is to make the sound of the chakras that resonate with the chakras. And it goes in the do, re, mi, of course. And to make that sound, and if it doesn't come out easily, if it doesn't come out fluently, if you're not quite spot on, you know, it doesn't matter, does it? Obviously. But keep going until it does feel right, till it sounds right, feels right. I go by feeling, of course, but most people go by sound, of course. So you go until it sounds right or feels right to you, and then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one, and then of course you do the whole do re mi, or you know, the sa re ga ma pa da ni sa again. That's from Chloe Goodchild's CD. That's why I use that, and it just feels to me, I don't know, it just feels better to me. But you can do that just when you're on your own in the shower or driving on your own or what have you. And it actually is a really good way of balancing all your chakras, so that you're actually, until you start producing the sound of each chakra, and then when you produce the right sound of each chakra, then you're balancing, that's in harmony. You are in harmony with that chakra is in harmony with you. You've stimulated it, energized it, balanced it. I don't know, whatever words you want to use. It depends how you perceive these light centers that are our chakras. But anyway, it's all energy healing on some level, isn't it? So anyway, it's not my area of expertise, as you can tell, but I do it for myself every now and again. I don't usually consciously choose to. Usually it comes after I've been practicing some yoga and meditation. And this morning I was just sitting on my yoga mat, having practiced some asanas and meditated. And it just came out to Om, which of course I love doing, Omming, to ground yourself. But then doing this range came out, and I was like, okay, that's fun. I haven't done it for a while. It's different. I usually do it when I'm driving, but that's okay. And so I'm doing it, and I'm, you know, repeating it quite a lot, because to get in balance, because obviously I was out of balance a little bit. So I'm doing that, and then when I got to the next sa, I carried on, and I just carried on going, and it was getting higher and higher and higher, and that was like, that's not me. Remember, that's not me. I was like, why is that not me? Why can that not be me? You know, and I was just finding it interesting, because, you know, I was just getting it higher and higher and going into the next sa, ga, sa, re, ga, ma. And I was just thinking to myself, why am I doing this? And then this voice spoke and said to me, because you're moving into the next octave. You're moving into the next octave. And I had to laugh. I just laughed out loud on my mat, because if any of you have read Paul Selig's work, he channels the guides, or listen to his books. He talks about the next octave, going to a higher octave. It's just another way of wording a higher level of consciousness, or a higher frequency, another dimension, another timeline, you know, another way of looking at the world. You know, there's many ways we can talk about it. We've been using the word upgrade lately. So it's like you're having an upgrade. A lot of people can feel themselves having an upgrade. And I had to laugh. I was just laughing, because it was just, I created it all, right? And this voice was just saying, you're moving to the next octave. Because we know that everything is sound, right? Everything is energy, but everything is light energy. Everything is sound. The frequencies, I mean, I'm not claiming to understand it all, right? We're getting into the quantum, you know, of it all, but we are sound. Everything is light, everything's frequency, and sound and light. So I just found that really fun, because it was like, I felt like I was expanding into more of who I was. And to prove that point, I created that understanding through sound, which is not my usual channel. You know, usually when I expand into more of who I am, it might be through my asanas or through meditation or, you know, through some kind of vision. But this time it kind of happened through sound, which I thought was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. So yeah, I want to ask you, are you moving into the next octave? Moving into, I often share that chart, the map of consciousness, and there's literally moving into operating from the next higher chakra. If you're operating from the next chakra up, are you operating from the next level of consciousness? You know, are you operating from the level of consciousness of love now? You know, I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? But everybody's having this. I mean, and I'm not surprised that it came, you know, the morning after the eclipse, you know, because the energies are so beautifully, beautifully powerful. So I'd love to hear where your upgrades are, how they're manifesting, and how you're getting the message that you're upgrading. You know, is it something different? Is it something new? Is it a new way of looking at things? Is it a new way of talking to yourself, even? That inner talk. So yeah, interesting stuff, interesting stuff. So there's a lovely little healing technique for you there. If you're not a singer or into music, but just omming and then just go to the next note up and then just keep repeating it until you feel a resonance with your body, and then put your consciousness on the chakras as you go up. Go to the next chakra, make a sound, set the intention that it's going to be the frequency of that chakra. You'll feel it when it's the same. You are creating the same frequency as that chakra, and then just keep holding it, hold that sound, keep repeating it until you feel really comfortable. It will feel really good when you're in alignment with it, and when you're not quite in alignment with it, it will just feel a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit off key maybe. So just keep going until you feel that resonance, and then you can really, really feel it energizing, and then go to the next chakra and do the same. And then if you go back and do the whole range, you know, of the do, re, mi, or, you know, however you want to word it. And then you can feel this alignment with the light energy coming in, because the chakras are basically the light, your light, you in light form coming in, serving you in all those different ways. So wow, yes, that's a powerful healing tool to have. So yeah, have a go at that one. Why not? So shall we see what messages are coming up in this time of upgrades? So take a deep breath down to the belly, and we shall see what your intuition, you will see, well, no, that's too many, we can't talk that long. We will see what your intuition has to say about the cards coming up. So we've got 4. I think that's it. They're face down. Let's have a look. Here we go. Wow. So you could be getting your upgrade at night through nightmares. Yes, nightmares are happening quite a lot at the moment. But please remember, actually, I think nightmares, dreams, it's another dimension. It's you operating in another dimension. And if it's a negative dream, then you're clearing stuff. You're clearing stuff. So if it's something frightening, and this is kind of really important, I think people need to understand that there isn't anything outside of us. Some people are still caught up in that understanding that there's them and us, and that's bad energy over there, and I'm good energy, and I've got to keep that bad energy away. We are the whole universe in one human being. So if you're feeling negative energy, it's okay, but take responsibility for it. And one of the things that I think is an important turnaround, especially if you're being afraid, not just in dreams, but a lot of people, if they take plant medicine or something like that, or some of these intense healing modalities, or in meditation or something, there could be something quite fearful coming up, you know, could be something quite fearful coming up. And it's a perfect opportunity to understand that it's another part of you. So rather than be afraid of it, We need to love it. We know that we need to love it. We've seen that with the devil card quite a few times. We need to love the devil. That came up a few months ago, didn't it? But when you understand that it's a part of you that you're burying deep down, then you understand the importance of loving it. It's a bit like Luke Skywalker, when in that scene, I haven't watched all of Star Wars, although I do believe it to be a true story. But I have seen that scene where Luke Skywalker finally cuts the head off Darth Vader, and when he sees the head roll, it's his face that's in it. It's like your arch enemy is actually you. And understanding that is really important. So it's about loving you, because it's about loving those parts of you that you've disowned. It's about loving those parts of you that you've shamed or guilted yourself into pretending are not there. We have to love it all. And if you're on one of these journeys and you have that, or you're having the nightmare and you see something fearful, it's about standing up to it and just saying, I understand who you are. I understand why you are. And I'm not afraid of you. If you can do that in whatever scenario it is, you know, even if it's in your waking time and there's something you're afraid of, it's like, I understand who you are, understanding that it is your shadow. I understand what you are. I understand how you're serving me, because you're coming to me to show me that I have this shadow, that I have this fear, because I can't see it because it's in the dark, right? So, you know, there's gratitude that it's being shown to you. So if you have a horrible experience like that, it's about looking at the fear and just saying, I love you. I understand why you're there. And I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it will dissolve. It has to, because love is the light that you're putting on the darkness, isn't it? Love is the light that you're putting on the darkness. So that's where we have to love it all. So yeah, if you're having nightmares at all, if you can just, if there was a character or something in that nightmare that was upsetting you the most, then in your waking hours, you can, I always get a bit stumbled on that one, because I think that what we call the waking hours is more of a dream than the dream, but never mind, that's another story, another video. But what you can do when you're in this physical reality, holographic projection that we're calling reality, you can meditate in the pyramid of light and then invite this fearful creature, whatever it is, invite them into your pyramid of light and just say, I understand who you are. I understand what you are, and I am grateful for you showing me my fear. I love you, I love you, I love you. Something like that. And then it will disappear, or it will become your friend. I mean, really remember that the dream state and the wake, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's all you living in a mental universe. The universe, the first principle, the first hermetic principle, the universe is mental. And it's all happening in your head. You are the creator through this. So it doesn't matter whether you're awake, asleep, half awake, meditating, or whatever. You know, if there's something you're afraid of, invite it in. Thank you. I know who you are. I know what you are. I know how you're serving me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And then it can't harm you. Well, it could never harm you anyway, because it's you. But does that make sense? Wow. That's an interesting one. I don't think I've ever said that about the Nine of Swords before. So interesting message coming up. We've got the Six of Pentacles. So there's balance going on here, giving and receiving, using your discernment. This has now become my using your discernment card, because he's giving to one more than the other, and it doesn't matter. There is financial stability here. It is about giving. He's giving to the poor people. And there is a message here. A lot of people might think, oh, I don't have enough. Charity starts at home. There is only you, and what goes around comes around. treating people the way you want to be treated. How can I tell you? Seriously, what you do, your actions that you take will come back to you. So giving to a charity, if you feel to, it's about discernment. If you're giving to a charity or someone else, or, you know, whatever it might be, with resentment and bitterness in your heart, then it's not going to be quite right. It's not going to be the same, is it? But if you feel to donate to something, do it, because it's going to balance things, and then other people will donate to you in some way or another. You know, it's a karmic thing, isn't it? And also, I've never said this with this card, but I think it's a really important point as well. I've often said, if you're in a little bit of a rut, one of the best ways to kickstart your energy, kickstart your raising your frequency, is random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness. That's what I want to say with this card. Random acts of kindness, wherever. It doesn't have to be financial. Remember, my interpretation of Pentacles is it's abundance. It's your time, it's your money, it's your energy. Can you spend your time kindly, offering your time to someone that needs it? Can you use your energy for someone that needs it? It could be just like this, just putting it out there. And it's still energy, isn't it? Time, energy, you know, Pentacles. And if you feel to, it's about if you feel to. Obviously, he feels to. He's using his discernment. He's not double guessing himself. He's not, you know, thinking, oh, I gave to him, so I have to give to him, or, you know, I can't give that much because I've got a bill coming in that I have to pay. Understanding that the universe provides us with everything we need when we need it. So it's a good opportunity to trust that as well. Well, even if you don't trust that, just put it to the test and see. Let's have a look. Lots and lots of choices. Lots of choices. Cups, intuition, spirituality, creativity, love. It's the water sign. Flowing, going with the flow, but lots of opportunities. So as it's come on the heels of this, I think there's lots of opportunities to be kind and to show kindness. And let's not forget that one of those opportunities to show kindness is to yourself. When you forgive, and I want to talk about forgiveness as well, when you forgive other people, you're actually being kind to yourself, because loving other people is a lovely feeling. And being bitter and resentful towards other people is not a nice feeling at all. It keeps you in a state of contraction and stops you from moving to the next octave. So we have to forgive. There's no have to, but it's understanding. I'm actually going to show, yes, I'm actually going to show a chart which I don't have it prepared, so just bear with me a moment, because I want to show you why it's so important, why forgiveness is so important, and how it can quite literally take you to the next octave. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully you'll see this. Okay. So this is the map of consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins from his book, Power versus Force. And I want to show you here. I get a lot of people that come to me in this heart chakra area. You see how this is the pivot point from contraction, living in contraction, to living in expansion. So most people that are at this level of frequency, if you're watching this video, you will be at least 310 because of the willingness to learn, willingness to grow, willingness to change your beliefs, willingness to face vulnerability, willingness to put yourself out there, willingness, all sorts of willingness. But people in this section vibrating at this frequency, they've kind of lived all of this, and now are looking at, oh, there's more to life than the one I'm living. But I don't quite know what it is. But I know there's more to life than the one I'm living. And that's why they're kind of searching and hopeful and looking for inspiration. Okay, so when you get to this and they're optimistic and they set an intention to improve things, but they don't quite know where they're going. But here, to me, are all the what I call spiritual lessons. And merciful, I can translate that as gratitude, of course. So using gratitude, advanced gratitude for imagining all the things that you would love to have and then being grateful for them. Advanced gratitude, very powerful energy when you understand that everything's happening in the now moment. You can put yourself in the frequency of already having things that are at a higher frequency. Harmonious. Harmonious. This always makes me think of that quote or that saying, true happiness comes when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Harmonious is when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in harmony. So if you're thinking something but not saying it, that's not harmony. You know, if you're thinking something and saying it, but your actions are not putting it into physical form, that's not harmony. It's about putting into physical forms the things that you talk about, the things that you think about. So thinking, thought, word, deed needs to be in harmony. Then, of course, we've got acceptance, accepting things as they are, not trying to change. Because when you try and change the outside, it doesn't work, does it? You can actually change the outside by changing the inside. How do you change things on the inside? By accepting them as they are. It's all a little bit of a paradox, I get that. But by accepting everything as it is, loving it as it is, that actually changes it. We've just talked about that with the fear, remember? With the anything that's fearful in your life, in your dreams or in your spiritual journey at all, you know, loving it is what's going to transmute it. So acceptance, accepting things as they are, accepting that it's not your job to change other people, it's your job to change you, right? And then other people, because everyone outside of you is a reflection of a part of you, right? So if by changing you, you change them, that's how it works. And then, of course, here, this is the one I wanted to talk about, forgiveness. Definitely a spiritual lesson, because what you're actually doing, of course, is releasing the resentment and the bitterness. And we know, energy healers know, and Louise Hay talked about this many years ago, that one of the contributory underlying causes of cancer is trapped emotions of resentment and bitterness. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. But that resentment can be really old. It can be from childhood, teenage years. But if it hasn't been expressed, if it hasn't been processed and it's still in the cells of your body, that's why they say that everybody has cancer cells to some degree or another, because everybody has trapped emotions of some kind of bitterness or anger or resentment, really. So releasing that resentment is obviously a gift to yourself. It's an act of self-love. So forgiving other people is an act of self-love. It's understanding that, because you are transmuting the resentment. You're transmuting the resentment through forgiveness into love. And love is a lovely feeling. And also, when you can do that on all levels, on all levels, in your reality and in your community, and in the collective. Look, when you can raise above this level of forgiveness, this is where it takes you to love. Through reason, through understanding. Reason means understanding, there you go. Through understanding, through wisdom, and through putting meaning on your life. You get to choose the meaning that you put on your life. You get to choose the meaning. So one of the things that I found helped me a lot, and I talked about this in my video, The Path to Forgiveness. So I'll put a link in the description and video in the end screen to The Path to Forgiveness, because I was looking at everything from a soul level. And from a soul level, the people that trigger us the most, the people that we resent the most, they're part of our soul team. They're part of our soul family. They've chosen to play the baddie. They've chosen to play that character for you to learn the lesson of forgiveness, because it's a major spiritual lesson. So that's why everybody has somebody somewhere in their life that they need to forgive. Or it could be in the collective, of course. But it's on a soul level. The people that we think we need to forgive, even if it's ourselves, it's like soul family, you know, and they're playing the baddie in our life for our benefit, so that we can learn the power of forgiveness and we can move towards love, because that's what it's all about. It's about moving towards love and vibrating at the frequency of love. And by having people that we can forgive, it helps us. So where we think we've been treated really badly, they did this to me, how can I forgive them? Yes, it's awful. It's awful trauma. There's a lot of awful trauma around. A lot of people have been treated really badly. Yes, of course, I understand that completely. Been there, seen it, done it. But understand it from a spiritual level, from a soul level. We understand, especially if you're watching this, you're probably a starseed, one of the more mature souls. And the mature souls understand that when we heal ourselves, we heal the collective, because we are the whole universe in one human being. So what the mature souls do is they give themselves, they choose the greatest adversity. So that's why the starseeds have often had the greatest adversity happening. But on a soul level, we chose it. We chose it. And when we look at the adversity outside in the collective, it really helps to not feel negative emotions about it, because understanding that souls chose this horrific, situation to live in, because they understand that it's waking up humanity at this time of the Great Awakening, and that's what they came here to do. And the people suffering the most are waking people up the most. And the more you suffer, the more you learn to get over that and to forgive and to understand and to expand into more of who you are. It's like Bernie Siegel said, in his book, Love, Medicine and Miracles. He said, if you experience an emotional trauma, you will grow. Whether you grow spiritually or whether you grow a tumor, the choice is yours. It's powerful, huh? It's powerful. Understanding that, I think, is life-changing. And then looking at forgiveness is a whole different ballgame, because you realize that you've created the adversity on a soul level for the purpose of having someone to forgive, because forgiveness is a spiritual lesson. And when you understand all of that and you can fill your heart full of love, if this is new for you, please check out my video, The Path to Forgiveness, because I don't want to keep repeating stuff. So please check that out, because I talk about my personal situation and how I went from resentment through forgiveness to love. And it's powerful. It's powerful. It's a powerful journey, resentment through forgiveness to love. And it's powerful for you, because you're clearing the resentment and you're shifting from that level of forgiveness into the next octave, into the next level of consciousness, into that higher frequency. And the last card is the Sun, which is the most positive card in the deck. The rays coming from the sun show spiritual guidance. Horses show positive movement forward. The child shows rebirth. A new you at a new octave. A new you at a new octave. Sunflowers are a sign of happiness in tarot. The sun is the light. It's like you're embodying more light. That's what we're doing. We're embodying more light. We are literally lightening our energy bodies and releasing that lower density, the shadows. The shadows are gone. This is the light. Shine the sun onto the shadow, and the shadow disappears. It gets integrated into the light, doesn't it? See how it works? See how it works? It's powerful. What a powerful way to end the week. From resentment through forgiveness to love, to the light. From fear into the light. Do you see how it works? Choices, 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 choices. Use your discernment. Lots, oh wow, quite a lot of messages there. Quite a lot of messages there. But from resentment through forgiveness to love, I think, is the biggest lesson to help us move to the next octave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. And check out, look out for the messages for the month of November. I'll be doing them this week as November comes in. So I will put a link in the description to the messages for October if you haven't seen those already. But see you in the next video. Have a fantastic week. Love you all. Bye for now.